Hello everyone, welcome to this video about Gypsy Jazz rhythm guitar. And I know I made two other videos about rhythm guitar, very detailed videos in which I go to complete detail. First one video about the right hand, then one video about the specific chord shapes. And the first video also has very detailed explanations about the left hand technique. But I wanted kind of to redo the videos because those videos are quite old, like 2 years old, and those were my first attempts at making educational videos, and the information in it is very good, but they're kind of slow and they're long. So I'm gonna make a very short video. And the reason I'm making this video is because there's tons of videos about Gypsy Jazz rhythm guitar on YouTube, with technique, with chord voicings, running through songs, and they're all great, they have great information, but there's this tendency to overthink rhythm guitar, to overcomplicate it. And don't get me wrong, you can really become an expert in rhythm guitar, and there's lots of things you can learn, inversions, embellishments, specific movements between chord voicings, lots of stuff. But in the end, that's something you can learn on the job. Rhythm guitar in itself should be a very simple thing, and I've been uploading some backing tracks in the last week, go check them out. And some people have asked me how I get that very bouncy, swinging sound. And the reason it sounds good to so many people is because it's very simple and it offends no one. Everybody can live with that kind of rhythm sound. In fact, most people would really like to play over it just because it's so non-intrusive, just very supportive, very swinging, very bouncy, very dry. So I'm just going to teach you how to play that kind of rhythm, and I can be very quick about it because you only need 8 chord shapes and a very basic approach to the technique. So let me first go over the chord shapes. You need to learn how to play a 2-5-1 in both G and C because they're both situated around the 4th, 5th fret, and then of course you can transpose them to all keys. So 2-5-1 in G consists of A minor 7, we play it like this, D7, we play it like this, and G6. You saw the voicings, you see the voicings in the kind of a tab or a chord diagrams. One more time. And for 2-5-1 in C, you play the chords like this, D minor 7, G7, C6. And the reason I'm playing G7 like this, because you say, well, I'm playing like this, or like this, or like this. Those are all great, but this voicing, this is the best voicing. Let me tell you why this is the best voicing. This voicing has the most growl, it's all in low strings, and therefore it has the most bite. And it's the easiest to play really dry, really short. It just sounds great in all circumstances, and also you can use this voicing both for 2-5-1s in major and minor. So these were the 2-5-1s in major. Let me give you the voicings for 2-5-1 in minor. So first, G minor. So A half diminished. Maybe you know this voicing. You know what? You can play that voicing, but I give you a much easier one. The easier one is just to play these 3 strings. You say, well, but that's not really A half diminished. This could be A minor 7. That's right, you could use this for A minor 7 as well. We're just not playing the 5th note, the A minor 7 flat 5. Half diminished means flat 5. We're not playing that 5, we're just playing the 1, the 3, and the 7. And again, this is very growly. We don't need to play this note. You can play that note, but you don't have to. And it's also very easy, it keeps the hand relaxed. So A half diminished. Now D7. Now we don't want to play this voicing actually, the same one, because we want to avoid this note, it's the 9. It doesn't sound really like a minor thing to do in a minor key. We want to play the flat 9, but again, we don't have to play this note, we can just play these 3 notes, or 4 notes, or 3. You can skip the A string. So you get A half diminished to D7, just the bottom 4 strings, to G minor 6, and then there's 2 ways. You can play either like this, or you can play it like this, with the bass if you want. That's it. And then a 2-5-1 in C minor, play D half diminished, there's two ways again. You can play it like this, or you can play it like this. It's only 3 notes. And then G7 is the same. To C minor, we're gonna play it like this. And you say, well, but that's not C minor 6, that's C minor 7. You know what? It just sounds good in guitar to do it like this, and also minor chords are very interchangeable. And even in a song like Minor Swing, where the chord is D minor 6, the second chord, lots of people just play this for G minor, for D minor. Sounds great. I mean, the sound is so muted anyway, we're getting to that, how I mute, that you don't really hear it. It's just a minor sound. Okay, then what else you need to know? You need to know how to play a diminished chord. So there's 2 ways to play diminished chords for the purposes of this video. If the bass note is on the low E string, you play the same voicing as you would play a dominant in the 2-5-1 in minor. So this is A diminished. If you can play this note again, but you don't have to. You can just play the bottom 3 or 4 strings, but you mute the A string. That's A diminished. And if you have to play, let's say, D sharp diminished, you play it like this. Now, if you're not familiar with jazz voicings or just a beginner, then this might be the most difficult one to learn. Just let go. If you want to practice it, and then just grab it. You'll get it in a couple of days. Okay, so 2-5-1 in major, minor, the diminished chords. I'm thinking those are all the chords you need to know. So those, I don't know how many chords it are, but less than 10. Now you can play any song you want. Really, you can play any song. So I'll demonstrate a couple of chord progressions later. Let me go over the technique for the right hand. And I'm gonna show you a way to learn this that maybe you've never seen before. And I didn't say that also in my previous videos. It's something that I realized after filming my right hand close up and talking to other people as well. I noticed that after playing a concert or a jam session that my fingernails, they were kind of black. And this happened to many players. I talked to Stockholm, well, lots of players. And the reason is because when they're playing rhythm, and also when I'm playing rhythm, I'm mixing the sound of my nails against the strings with the sound of the pick. And this gives you a very dry, kind of mysterious sound. You don't know how you make that sound, because it's a mix between the fingernails and the pick. That might sound strange. So the best way to get the right hand sound down is just mute the strings for now, and you just make a rhythm sound with these 2 fingers. So tuck your thumb into your hand, because you only want to hit the strings with these 2 fingers. And you're gonna just play 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to add an upstroke, which you can do, which is seems to be very difficult for many people, if you do it with your fingernails, it's very easy to do an upstroke. It has to be very short. Even if the tempo is slow, you do it very short. Super easy with the fingernails, because they glide across the strings with no resistance almost. Okay, so now let's add a chord into it. So let's add a D7. The goal with the left hand is to make the chords as short as possible. That means we're gonna press it very short, let go immediately after every beat. And also we're not gonna press it completely down. We're gonna just press it very lightly. I call it half muting. When I would press it down like I would when I would play rhythm and I would play all the strings separately, you hear this. You can still hear the kind of the chord, but it's not like this. It's also not like this. No, it's kind of very lightly pressing the strings down. This helps you getting a very dry sound, and also it makes your left hand very relaxed. If you would have to press down every beat, your hand would get tired. So now we're gonna do the fingernail thing with this D7. And we're going to play everything very short. No upstroke now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I kind of want to accentuate the 2 and the 4. And I do that mostly by having a little bit more, sweep, but also by trying to hit more strings. On the 1 and the 3, I'm just going to hit a couple of strings. On the 2 and the 4, I'm going to hit maybe all the strings, but at least, let's say, four strings, 4 or 5. And on the 1 and the 3, I'm going to hit like 2 or 3. Now, with the upstroke, the upstroke is almost going automatically. It's so easy. D, G. Now, the only thing I have to do is mix this with my pick. So I'm gonna do this exact same thing. And I'm just gonna add the pick on the downstrokes, not on the upstrokes, only on the downstrokes. So the upstrokes is only the fingernail, right? And the downstrokes is a mix between the fingernails and the pick. And I'm doing the same thing. On the 1 and the 3, I'm hitting the bottom 2, 3 strings. And on the 2 and the 4, I'm hitting 4, maybe 5 strings. This is all there's to it. That's that easy. So a couple of tips, a couple of pointers. For now, just keep the rhythm like this, Try to resist the temptation to play long chords, especially when you change chords, right? Let's say you play, I was playing Sweet Richard Brown, so we have E7 to A7. If I would switch the chord with a long chord, it would sound like this. I start on bar 3, so I have 2 bars of E7 going to A7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just try to change all the chords with a short stroke. It's just something you have to tell yourself, because it's very easy to play a long chord when you switch chords. Just to, you're changing chords, you want to make sure you have the right strings. If you listen to my backing tracks, you can hear that I'm very consciously try to change all the chords with a short chord. And that keeps the rhythm bouncy. It keeps the rhythm dry and growly. And it's something I have to tell myself also, because if I don't think about it, I might change all the chords with a long chord, and lots of people do it. And it kind of breaks the bounciness of the rhythm. So now let's play a song. Let's play Lady Be Good. G, C7, G, and then a 2-5-1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I start with a long chord immediately. Let's start with a short chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Daphne. Let's do something fast. Let's do Limehouse Blues really fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only those 4 things I talked about, very short everything. It sounds super bouncy, swinging. So, and this kind of rhythm will be accepted by everyone. There's many different styles, and some people might prefer this kind of style, and they want long chords, or they want this embellishment, or they like these kind of inversions. But in my experience, nobody minds this style. In fact, most people like it. It's just so supportive. So just You know, don't spend too much time learning all the subtleties of rhythm in the beginning. Just learn this way. Go out and play and learn the rest on the job, you know. And then you might even realize after a while of learning all kinds of new tricks that this is actually the best way. When I make my backing tracks, I play this way. Of course, I'm playing some more inversions. That's just to keep some harmonic interest in the rhythm parts, and also to keep it interesting for myself because I'm just playing by myself. But you don't need it, you know. Everybody will be listening to the soloist, and it's your job to make the soloist sound great. You have to play so supportive that people won't actually notice you. Yeah, that's kind of maybe you want to, you know, you want to do the fancy stuff. But if your rhythm sounds so great that it's just, if it's just part of the music in itself, you know, you're not trying to do fancy stuff. It's just part of the basis of the music. It's to make all the solo players sound great, or to make the whole band sound great. So the simpler usually the better. So one other thing you have to work on is, of course, your steadiness, you know, your groove. And the way to do it, I also said it in the previous videos, is to play along with lots of great recordings. Just play along with the bands and mark the metronome markings of that song that you're playing, of the band. Let's say they start at 200 and they end at 180. And then you play along a couple of times, and then you do it on your own and you record yourself. And then you make markings of your own tempo deviation. Well, 200 to 180 is a lot. Let's say they start at 200 and they end at 194. And then maybe if you do it on your own, while imagining that you're playing with that band, you go from 200 to 190. You know that you're slowing down too much. So that's the way I would work on my groove. Okay, I hope that I didn't offend too many rhythm players, because I still have great respect for the best rhythm players, and they do all kinds of stuff that I want to learn too. But I just wanted to make this video to show you a way that is very simple and that gets you playing as fast as possible. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.